Hi, it's me, and that's him, and we're the Sci-Fi Scholars.
And we are talking Arrow, Season 5, Episode 18, Disbanded.
So, Oliver
Team Arrow is disbanded.
tells them to go away
Get the F out!
and takes away their suits.
And all their weapons. What I don't understand is, yes, he changed the codes, but seriously?
Well, Malcolm always gets in there,
Exactly.
and he's only got one hand.
It's like, oh, we changed the codes, we can't get in. Okay.
You could knock on the door, wait for Oliver to be like, go away. No, come here for a second, When he comes to the door, tase him. Ha!
But the point being, Curtis is a hacker as well, or can hack.
Yes.
And they did eventually said, oh, he finally got in, but it was, did you not think Curtis would get around the codes? I'm like, why didn't you do that in the first place? Because they had to talk to friggin' Diggle's wife to get stuff, to do stuff. And
They look like punks. Anyway, so then Team Not Arrow is fighting the Bratva because Oliver reckons the Bratva is the power play.
yeah, and what I did like is Adrian Didio, gotta hand it to you, it's a move I didn't expect.
See, a better move, right, would have been getting in Barry, like the speedster. Adrian would be able to do nothing against that, and
Or
could arrest him.
just loan me Wally for a day.
Either that,
Or didn't have to be Barry.
or if he really wanted to kill him, get some of the legends, because a couple of those guys don't mind killing people. And
Legends is a little bit harder to get. Because it's not just a different city. Because of where they're at the moment.
yeah, but like
Anyway, the point being...
they can travel through time, so he
Yes,
just
I
needs
know.
to,
I
at some
know.
point in the future, inform them that he needs some assistance taking out this.
It's one of the problems of having a show set, like a couple of shows in a universe. I know Barry's dealing with his own stuff.
Hell,
But-
he could have released Slade Woodner. I've got a bad guy. Wait, releasing Slade was a terrible idea. Oops.
Point being, he does nothing, but does something.
Yeah.
But still was like, no, there's no Team Arrow.
There's no Team Arrow, and I'm going to stop killing people. Like all the brothers.
But I mean, that kind of made sense because he felt like that was his only play at that point, because at this point he felt and does feel like
He lost.
all of this thing that Team Arrow is built upon is a lie.
Yes.
And is built upon something that is not good. And so that's his reasoning. And then Oliver, Diggle eventually talks him out of it, but it just feels a little bit like, oh, shucks, I hate this team. Oh, you know what? Let's bring the team back together. By the end of it, it was just like, come on, you could have gone deeper than that. You still got 3 or 4 or 5 episodes. You could have gone deeper in this episode with it, with like that character study of Oliver really realizing he's actually a serial killer. Something he's never really realized before. He knew he was a killer, but he's basically a serial killer.
Yeah.
And yes, there might be bad guys, but that doesn't change the fact of who he is killing. So that could have been a cool little, dark character study into his character. I mean, it makes sense on what Diggle was trying to do, but I felt like Oliver turned around too quickly.
Diggle took longer to come around when Oliver was trying to rescue him.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Like, it didn't feel like... Yeah, Diggle felt right, and the rest of the team mostly felt right, but Oliver coming around that quick didn't. But it made sense for him to call Anatoly, and then they kind of...
Well, also, Anatoly shouldn't have said yes, but...
With the flashbacks, we finally... Oliver's heading back to Lian Yu. He does one last thing for the brother, and you get in the backstory, like, they're brothers, and, Anatoly basically says, I don't want you to leave because you're my grounding. You help me to be the better person, even though you're not in a very good headspace.
Yeah. And
then obviously, he tells him in the past, the mask eventually is not going to be, it doesn't change the fact that you're the monster.
Yeah.
You're not separating him. And then, in the present day when he's talking to him, he says, yeah, you're right. And Anatoly's like, yeah, and I was right again about me doing things that I didn't want to do.
So basically, because the Bradford's trying to kill Chase, he gets put into federal witness protection,
Yeah,
and then they eventually
because
break
Team Arrow screw it up.
like 3 times.
Well, majorly the first one. It's like,
Yeah.
really? Come on. They it's like, yeah. I mean, I know they were trying to save Oliver from killing again, even though he technically wasn't killing, and trying to getting into bed with the Bratva. But they would have known. He's already in bed with the Bratva if he's already invited them into their city.
Yeah. So that happened. Then
And for drugs.
they eventually beat the like protection stuff that Chase has to like hide his face from cameras and things.
Yes, Felicity does with her hacker friends, and Curtis
Yep.
finds out, and they're like, "What, Curtis? What are you doing here?"
I'm a hacker too, suck it.
Yeah, which I thought was a kind of cool thing, and that's gonna further that story, and hopefully in either a bad way, which will be good, like as in a very
I
negative
don't
thing
think
for
Curtis
Felicity.
is not going to join it.
No. But the point
Yeah.
being, it might mean Felicity goes further down that rabbit hole, which could be a really good and interesting story, and actually finally makes sense.
Season
and actually,
6 bad guy.
But point being, it could turn into something good, and then the rest of this won't seem so
Yeah.
that I felt for so long. But it also could end up being bad in a terrible story type of way. So I'm hoping for the first one, and then that kind of can bring us back to a Felicity that I like again, because I loved her in season 1 and 2. So I'm hoping that's what they're doing with this story, to kind of, give her a bit of a character arc that puts her in a way that helps her character become better.
Yeah.
And better again. Like, yeah.
So then,
So
after,
that could be interesting.
because he's in witness protection and they eventually prove it, they give the evidence to the police, and the police are like, oh, we can't do anything. He's in federal witness protection. We should call the marshals.
Mhm.
And the marshals get the phone call, and Adrian Chase is like, oh, hell no, bang, 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 and runs away.
That's the end of the episode. And you see him in the car, like, just with blood all over and still all these cop cars, and he's just driving past them.
Like, oh,
And it's revealed, I think it's meant to be Star City in the background, wherever he's heading. So that'll be, I think that's kind of setting up this last 5-episode run, which we have a bit of a break for.
Yeah.
And I think it's 5 episodes. 4 episodes. 5. I know my math. Point being, this could be a very interesting 5-episode arc. I mean, Oliver wasn't fully back to being Green Arrow at the end. He was still wearing a mask, but I was still like, just doing the black mask sort of thing. But it was like, it didn't feel like, it felt like last episode, however you say that Caprician word.
Yeah.
Anyway, it felt really heavy and had this really cool character stuff that could have been delved into, that they just kind of went, you know what, screw it.
Because
That's not that important.
They have to
We
wrap
just did
up
it for
Prometheus in the next 5 episodes.
Yeah.
And they probably are going to wrap up Vigilante as well.
I don't know whether they will.
So you reckon Vigilante's going to stick around to next season, and they're not going to find out who he is yet?
Possibly.
It's Talia al Ghul's brother.
But my point being, it just felt like the whole weightiness and awesomeness that they did in the last 2 episodes, episodes 16 and 17, they just didn't know how to deal with it and do it in a good way. And so they kind of just...
dissipated it.
Yeah, so he kind of did I quit, but I'm back again. And he's done that how many times now? Whereas this could have been a serious, like, at least full episode of him actually quit, which is where the whole bringing in the Bratfall was a bad
They should have ended the
idea.
season with him quitting and just left it to season 6 as a result.
I think they did that in like season 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Anyway, point being, it just didn't go where I felt like they could have gone, and it could have been really, really good.
Yeah.
Instead, we just got a paint by the numbers kind of story where one of the good guy goes, I don't want to do this anymore because I found something out bad about myself, and then someone talks him out of it.
Yeah.
And while he's not fully back, he's basically back.
And the Bratva are still going to be sticking around, because even though Anatoly's like, fine, you screwed me over, but I'm not leaving. Like, I'm going
You invited
home.
me back, but
I'm going home, but I'm leaving my agents here, so suck it.
I mean, that's Oliver's fault. But the annoying thing with the Bratva, with this bit, was when they're actually like, well, you still got to pay us even though you're telling me not to kill them anymore. They go to grab their stuff and they take hostages. yeah, sure, Team Arrow comes in and they stop them and they're like, oh, what are you going to do? And it's just like, we got hostages, and then 2 people run off to get the hostages, and then the Bratva just kind of stand there like this, holding someone with a gun, with a whole group of people, and then they're killers.
And they've
They have
claimed...
no problem with killing.
They've also claimed that these are his best men.
Yeah. And they just
Well,
stand
no wonder
there.
the Bratva's in so much trouble.
They just stand there while freaking Wild Dog and Dinah just kind of run in and just eventually punch them in the face or whatever. But I'm like, seriously, all you have to do is, they're just like, oh, take me down.
Yeah.
It's like, really, you've got a hostage, use them as a body thing. If you don't care about them, which you obviously don't, or you shouldn't, or you're not meant to, because that's what you're being told, shoot a couple of the ones that are on the ground. That's going to give them pause. Then you've really got a hostage that's going to help you.
Yeah. But, nope.
At least even freaking fire at them. They didn't even shoot their guns. God, that was frustrating.
Bratva's very poor. They don't have any bullets.
It was a typical stupid bad guy thing that Arrow normally does in a way that isn't so frustrating. But this one was just like... It's like they wanted to die. Even though I don't think they died. But the point being...
Yeah.
If you got a bad guy. That was just a frustrating thing for me. But it's another good thing with the Brawl Bruffer is it's nice to see how different Anatoly and Oliver are.
Yep.
And how they were in the flashbacks.
After almost 5 years.
Yeah. So, interesting stuff ahead.
Yes.
So, an okay episode that I found quite frustrating in places.
Yeah.
Particularly because of how good the previous 2 episodes were.
Sure.
But, you may totally disagree.
You might.
Let us know if you do or don't.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.